So good morning, everyone. We'll begin with the reflections on universal well-being. May I abide in well-being, in freedom from affliction, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may I maintain well-being in myself. May everyone abide in well-being, in freedom from hostility, in freedom from ill will, in freedom from anxiety, and may they maintain well-being in themselves. May all beings be released from all suffering, and may they not be parted from the good fortune they have attained. When they act upon intention, all beings are the owners of their action and inherit its results. Their future is born from such action, companion to such action, and its results will be their home. All actions with intention, be they skillful or harmful, of such acts they will be the heirs. So today I wanted to share a story from the life of Ajahn Mun, also called Acharya Mun, in the theme of what Marty was talking about Friday night, which is faith in the Buddha. And this story, for me, inspired a great deal of faith in me, and also is on the principle of faith. So people don't know Acharya Mun. He was, you could say, I don't think the kind of the gave new life to the Thai forest Sangha tradition, the Thai forest tradition. Considered a teacher of Ajahn Chah, and also considered an arhat, awakened being. And what's quite amazing is there's a biography, a spiritual biography by one of his disciples named Acharya Mahabua that people can find online. And when you read his life story, you realize what does it really mean to live the impeccable life of a monk, and what it really means to be an arhat. And if any of us go, oh, this is very something to look down upon, you could what? Well, his cultivation, his purity, and his wisdom and compassion are quite inconceivable. So this is the story. In that time in Thailand, actually, there weren't that many forest monks. He kind of revived the tradition. So he would travel, with almost nothing, with just the basic requisites, from place to place. And one time he went by a village tribe in Thailand. And so the villagers didn't really know what to make of him. Ajahn Mun was traveling with one of his disciples. And so when Ajahn Mun and the disciple arrive with their alms bowl, they ask him, "What are you here for?" So we're receiving alms. What's that? We can receive rice. So they said, okay, do you want cooked rice or uncooked rice? It's cooked rice. I said, okay. So they gave a little bit of rice, and that was about it. And Acharya Mun and his disciple went into a kind of the forest under a tree to practice and also have their meal. So that evening, the village headsman gathered all the villagers together and told everyone, I'm really suspicious about these two people. I'm not sure what they're about. They're probably tigers in disguise, probably here to really harm us and take our possessions and hurt our property. So we better keep careful watch on them. Acharya Mun has quite a few spiritual abilities. And so one is he's able to read the thoughts of others. So although he's sitting at a distance, he is able to see what's going on in the village. The suspicion that's arising in people, the fear, maybe even anger. And so he tells his disciple, the villagers are very suspicious about us, even resentful towards us. And so what do you think he does at this point? Ajahn Mun has actually compassion for the villagers. And he says to his disciple, if we leave now, then they will have a very negative relationship with the Sangha, with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And perhaps their lack of faith, their suspicion, will actually lead them into the lower realms. So we have to stay. We have to stay to be able to transform their attitude toward the Dharma. Okay, so what did they do? They just do their meditation. Walking meditation, sitting meditation, go on alms round, and live in the impeccable life of a monk. And the villagers, because they're suspicious about these tigers in disguise, come out every day and watch them all the time, sending out maybe 3 or 4 men who are armed, just kind of keeping an eye out on them. And they watch them doing walking meditation, sitting meditation, and whatever food they give them is barely enough, just plain rice. And this goes on and on for months. And they're just living out in the elements, rain, cold, wind, very difficult conditions. But Acharya Mun is unmoved, very peaceful, just continues with his meditation practice and is enduring of any difficulty. So this goes on and on and on, and finally the villagers call another meeting. And the village headsman asks everyone, so what did you see? What's going on? They said, well, we watch these monks and all they do is sit and walk. And they just, are very, very peaceful. So I'm not sure if they're really out to harm us, because if somebody's really out to harm us, they're probably would have done something by now, and they probably also wouldn't be so peaceful. So people are going, I don't know, maybe our suspicions are unfounded. So the village headsman says, okay, how about we go ask them, what are they doing here? So they pick one person, they go and ask Acharya Mun and his disciple, what are they doing here? Again, Acharya Mun knows what's going on. He tells his disciple, seems like the villagers might be having a change of heart. They're going to send somebody here to ask us what we're doing. And lo and behold, that afternoon a village representative comes out and asks them, what are you doing? Why do you just sit here all day and walk all day? And Acharya Mun says, well, I'm looking for something very precious. And the villager is a little bit curious. Says, what? What is the precious thing you're looking for? Can we help? He says, yeah, for sure. I'm looking for Buddha, which is Buddha, right? Buddha. I'm looking for it all the time, because once I find this precious treasure that's rarer than all the world, the mind and heart becomes radiant and knows everything. And the villager is just curious. Knows everything? you mean I can know about heaven and hell? And Ajahn Mun says, much more than that. He says, can I know about what happened to my past relatives, my deceased relatives? He says, for sure. This is all-encompassing wisdom, radiant, bright. So the villager goes back to the rest of the town, the village, and reports back what he heard, saying that Acharya Mun is looking for Budo. And said, we can help him. He tells us we just have to continually reflect on Budo all the time. And we can also meditate for maybe 20 minutes, just reflecting on Budo. So the villagers are very simple people. So a couple of them start this practice. Budo, Budo, Budo. He's looking Budo, Budo. Just keep that thought in their mind. And amazingly, one of the villagers has a profound breakthrough into the Dharma. His mind's become so quiet that he actually has a vision of the Dharma. And even more than that, he actually realizes the ability to see into people's minds. So he's really excited, and he comes to Acharya Mun and explains his experience. And it tells him that he can also read people's minds. And Acharya Mun goes, okay. He gives him some more meditation instruction. And he asks this villager, so have you looked at my mind? He says, yes. I came and looked at your mind too. He says, what do you see? And he says, wow, I can't believe it. Yours the most brilliant, radiant mind I can imagine. It's just breathtaking. The purity, the light, it's just amazing. And I'm like, okay. So this man goes back, of course, back to the village and tells everybody, and everybody's very excited and very has a lot of enthusiasm. They all become reciting and practicing this Budo, looking for Budo. And as the months go by, of course, they have more faith in Acharya Mun. They give him proper alms food. They build him a meditation path and a place to stay. And they listen to his teachings, and he guides them and teaches them the Dharma. And finally, about a year later, he sees that they're kind of well-grounded in their practice and faith. And he tells his fellow disciple, it's time to leave. It's time to go. Our work here is done. These villagers have changed their attitude. And so Acharya Mun made his intention known to the villagers. I'm going to be leaving now. And he says the villagers were just like children. They all came and they were crying and saying, please don't go. When you came, we didn't know who you were, and we treated you so badly and we're so suspicious, but now you're part of our community. You are our spiritual teacher. We really love you. We really want you around. Please stay. We'll support you for your whole life. We'll arrange for your cremation. So just please stay. We just really enjoy being in your presence. Acharya Mun says, listens to them and says, but I've made my intention, I have to go. Again, they're very, very, distraught. But finally, he tells them, the way of the Dharma is not getting washed away by our emotions. To maintain this kind of unmoving, peaceful mind. So they calm down and they're quiet. So he gets his stuff together and he leaves. And he says that all the villagers, as he starts to leave, go and grab all his stuff. And they hang onto his body and they try to pull him back. He says, don't leave. And he says, you can't do this. I'm planning to leave. You have to compose yourselves. Everything arises and ceases, comes and goes. So again, they calm down. And he goes a distance and they again run after him. And it says it goes on and on like this for a while. Them running after him, grabbing his stuff, holding on to him giving him a gentle reminder, and they letting go. And finally he leaves. And Charya Mahabua just reflects on the kindness and compassion of Ajahn Mun, saying he's a true refuge of kindness and compassion. And I would say this book is almost like a manual for the monastic life. I remember reading it when I was training in the monastery, and it was an inspiration for me. Day after day, I'll just read a little bit. And saying that as Buddhist disciples, especially monastics, we're representing the Dharma. And in the world, there might be people who are suspicious about religion, suspicious about Buddhism. And that's, you could say, harmful for their own spiritual life. But we don't respond with blame or hatred or resentment. We respond with kindness and compassion to really live purely, live with integrity, treat others with kindness and compassion. And from there, their faith can grow. And so I thought, this story, one, brought a lot of faith to me, being able to hear the kind of virtue of a forest monk, of someone devoted to the spiritual path, as well as it kind of serves as an inspiration for myself in the monastic life, how to live very purely, with integrity, and kindness for those around us. So maybe today, if you wish, I think inspired by Ajahn Mun's example, perhaps we can treat those around us with more kindness and compassion. And if they're treating us maybe with suspicion, to not blame them, but to just take that as an encouragement for ourselves to live with more purity, with more integrity. And through our modeling of the Dharma, perhaps they can also find inspiration in their hearts. Okay, so maybe just that much for this morning. Do 3 steps, 1 bow. I recommend finding this biography and reading it. It's very inspiring. There's also Chinese translation, so you can find it in Chinese too.